Hi, and welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. I'm actually waiting for Corey to join the call, so um, he should be there.
Hey, Mondo, sorry about that. You're the starting quarterback now. Woo!
And since you're here and you're back with us,
Hey, man, what's been going on?
I just want to let everybody know that first we started, or we're doing this week on Varsity Blues.
Indeed.
Corey has all the information now that he's cleaned up. Uh, but I would like, before you get into actors, all the IMDb stuff, whipped cream bikinis, like whipped cream, it doesn't stick.
No,
No.
the functionality is completely not there.
What she did in the movie is
Movie magic.
completely bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's
So
horseshit.
we'll start by saying that, so we can get the whole whipped cream bikini thing out of everybody's mind. I hope your
One of
desk
the greatest scenes in movie history. Completely impractical.
exactly. I hope your desk is clean. Would you like to start us off by introducing Varsity Blues, the movie that we watched?
I just did with whipped cream all over my kids. What are you talking about? I don't know how else to intro it. All right, Varsity Blues, 1999, starring James Van Der Beek, John Voight, Paul Walker, Amy Smart, Ali Larter. Basically, anybody that was in a movie from 99 through the 2000s, it's pretty much started off in this movie, and then John Voight was also in it. And
don't diss Voight. I love John Voight.
I'm just saying. It's all these young guys, and then like, hey, John Voight's also in this movie.
Well, they needed a sociopath to.
Yeah, no shit. And the one sentence IMDb description is: a backup quarterback is chosen to lead a Texas football team to victory after the starting quarterback is injured. I do not think
that is not the movie. I have two descriptions of what this movie really is, if you'd like to hear.
So,
because you thought this movie was about football.
A little bit. I remember it being about football. Not anymore.
This movie is not about football. This movie is about a girl named Jules who thinks the world revolves around her as she manipulates a football player and fucks with his head until she snaps and gets his coach fired after driving his coach insane as well.
So you're blaming Amy Smart for all of this?
That's the one. We can go with that one. Or it's about a racist sociopath coach who pushes his team to revolt and forces him to quit coaching.
Yeah, that's also a good one. I actually came up with one of my own as well, because I noticed this almost immediately when I started watching this again for like the 1200th time. Football meets Roadhouse.
That's fair.
That's it.
That's fair.
This is the plot.
I give it a 10. I give it a fucking 10.
That plot's a 10.
Okay. I want to get into one thing immediately, because this is a movie that I loved and enjoyed back in 99. 100%. This is a movie that I love and enjoy now.
Yes.
However, the Southern accents, not only are they not similar between, like, if you meet a bunch of people that have lived in the same town for eons, which apparently they all have, they're all going to have a similar twang.
Yeah.
None of them do. They all sound completely different, like they're from completely different areas of the South. Some of them then don't even sound, it sounds like a shitty comedian doing an impersonation of somebody from the South.
Oh yeah, it sounds like Bill Burr's like racist accent. Like, you won't shut up. Like, that's how they all.
No, I did write a note as far as the accents are concerned. I said Lance's dad has the worst Southern accent of all time. Everybody focused on James Van Der Beek's accent. Lance's father is the worst. Oh, don't get your panties in a bunch. Come on
he's
now.
Horrible.
Terrible.
He's horrible. And when he gets drunk, it's even worse. Like, I know, like, I have a little bit of an accent, and then when I get drunk, I really, like, the Midwest just pours out of me.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know what he becomes.
I don't.
It's just a garbled mess.
He's from like Center Earth. I don't know where the hell he's from. He's from Middle Earth. Whatever. Bad movie.
I wasn't going to
reference.
call you out because I didn't want you to call me a fucking nerd.
But let's get into the movie. So,
oh, teacher, I have one question.
Go right ahead.
Getting right into the movie.
Yes.
2 points. One, we got to quit watching movies that start off with a narration because they're dog shit. Like immediately, it's dog shit.
My first reaction was, first thought after the intro, Texas sucks.
Pretty much. We live by laws in this country. Dude, no.
That's terrible.
I think this movie, like, that's the first indication that this movie may have actually been written by a high school student. Because he's basically taking us through what he remembers of civics. Okay? Now, my second point here, almost immediately, is I have a theory on this movie. His little brother, Kyle.
Yes.
Kyle is actually the Messiah.
He's actually the Messiah, but did not. I don't know why they gave him a brother in this movie because he serves no purpose
outside of his like infatuation with theology. Because he goes through all of these different religions, which proves he's the Messiah because he's just trying to show us like they were all the same.
Yeah.
Like back up. And then one of the very first non-narrated scenes is Kyle, the little brother, and Mox, James Vanderbeek, talking in Mox's bedroom.
Yes.
And the little brother says, "Do you think you'll get a play if Lance gets hurt?" And Mox says, you pray for the health of Lance Harbor. What happens to Lance Harbor? Almost immediately. He gets hurt. Guess what? You never see the little brother do it. He never prays. You never see it.
I think he prays that Lance Harbor gets hurt, actually. That's what I think.
Yeah. He wanted his brother to experience, like, this is almost like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
But the brother is the angel.
Getting into, because it's like 2 scenes later.
He also shows up out of nowhere and buys James Vanderbeek condoms. Why is he hanging out in a convenience store in the middle of the night?
Because their parents don't watch any of their kids.
I've noticed a little angel.
I've noticed a couple of things like randomly about this movie. One, nobody loves each other. Everybody just has sex and they don't care about relationships. Like that's not real teenage high school stuff. Like
no, it's all about getting out.
Nobody
find any little crack in the crevice you can do to get the fork out of that town because it is tore up.
And the only people that don't want to leave are Lance, Billy Bob, and Tweeter. And let's nip this in the bud. In '99, this was hilarious. In 2019, 20 years later, Tweeter's
dude,
he's a criminal.
There is so like at first I remember this fun being like, yeah, Tweeter, he's the fun time guy. He had all the good lines. No,
he sexually assaults everybody.
Dude, Tweeter and or his parents started the opioid crisis in America because he's doling out prescription pills to people like he's a fucking doctor. It's insane. He's just like, oh, here you go, Lance. This will hook you up. By the way, I got plenty more if you need them.
You need a couple Percocet, some Vicodin, pour some whiskey down her throat, and the panties just fall off. I was like,
what's happening?
Dude, do you just rape people? Like, what?
Well, that's the worst scene. That's when I almost like I had to seriously like, okay, just get through this. This is your job. Watch this movie. Because he literally has a scene that's, for all intents and purposes, a throwaway scene.
Yeah.
Right? The movie's like an hour and 44 minutes, something like that. You could have cut it down by about 5 seconds, and this scene would have been gone. But there is a scene at practice where Tweeter is telling Mox how to properly date rape / roofie a chick.
Yeah, that was the, you give him a couple Percocets, some Vicodin.
What?
And the panties just fall off.
We're still trying to like tell people like, yeah, you know what? Probably shouldn't rape people. That's a bad idea. And they're like, what do you mean? Varsity Blues said it was all good. long as you're a fun time
I
party
will,
boy receiver.
and I'll go back to the whole what this movie is about, because dude, Jules, Mox's girlfriend, is a horrible person. She's just a terrible. She's the K from The Godfather in this movie.
Oh, totally.
I just wrote the quick note.
This Sicilian thing.
Jules is a bitch from the first speaking part. Her very first speaking part, she is a bitch on wheels from, oh, I hate football. I hate, all this. Wait, your boyfriend plays football. I don't date football players. Yeah, I play football. You're more than that. No, not really. I mean,
right.
Everybody's more than what they do. Stop being a bitch and just support your dude. She actually goes into there's
Stop being a bitch and support your dude. Did you write this movie?
So they're supposedly all friends, but like they incessantly just mock each other. When in the game, when the ball goes out of bounds, Lance throws it away or whatever, it's an incomplete pass. Mox gets it and hucks it from a seated position. It's like 60 yards in the air.
Yeah.
Which try to do that from home. It's virtually impossible. So he throws the ball from the bench, and I wrote, Lance's dad says, that's the most action your son's going to see all season. They are like the fucking meanest people to each other. And they all grew up together. And it's not like it's not in this jokey ha-ha. It's like, dude, your kid sucks, and my kid's starting quarterback, y'all. It's so bad.
Oh, it is throughout the whole thing. And you know what? The kids all buy into it, because when they're later on at that barbecue at like Lance's house or whatever, they're all at the barbecue, and they get on Mox again for being a backup quarterback. And you think your boy's better than mine? And they get into this pissing contest that ends up to one dude getting his nose broken.
Yep.
But Lance, like he's, come on, son, we're going to show him how we do it. William Tell style. Right?
I didn't know that he knew who the fuck William Tell was.
But he doesn't. He doesn't.
He made that up.
But Lance jumps right up. Mox is sitting there like, Dad, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And even Jules, who you claim is the worst fucking human being on the planet, like Pol Pot, Hitler, Jules. and you just, but even Jules is like, this isn't funny. And she gets up and runs away. Lance just jumps up like, yeah, fuck it, Dad. I'm going to make you proud of me somehow.
Well, Lance, because listen, the late, great Paul Walker does gives a few nonverbal hints here. He makes a couple of faces like,
He makes a bashful face. Like, come on, Dad. Like, you're going to make me show off again.
No, like he's embarrassed by his dad, but he doesn't want to say anything because Lance is the good soldier, and I'll do whatever my coach tells me, whatever my dad tells me. So he gives a couple of nonverbals.
Smile.
But I need to get in. So there's a couple things once we get into the game, right? Lance gets hurt. I need to put this out there, and this goes to the sociopath that is the coach. Yes. And not even just the coach, that nobody, including Billy Bob's parents, who we never see, or
down too.
Any of the teammates or anybody. Billy Bob gets a concussion, right?
Unconscious. He's knocked unconscious.
Yes. And he's like, well, you need to get in there, fat boy, and do your thing. Which, the whole Billy Bob character, this fat guy dolt, I'm just a moron.
Sir.
It's terrible.
Well, let's face facts though. Every character in this is a cliche.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're done in a wonderful, hysterical. Yeah. Like they just go over top with everything.
They do it. No, they do it in a great way. But just especially the character of Billy Bob, they took it a touch too far. But here's my problem with the whole Billy Bob has a concussion thing. Billy Bob gets a concussion, is knocked unconscious, and then he's carried off the field, Lance is, because he gets hurt because Billy Bob. Mox comes in the next play,
Mm-hmm.
and Billy Bob is fine for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he's good to go.
The next 3 plays, they score a touchdown, whatever, he's fine. And then he goes to school. So now we get it, concussions. Even back then, people looked out for concussions and symptoms. It wasn't like it is now. But he doesn't just have headaches, my eyes hurt, or I feel sick. He passes out at school.
And you want to know why? Had nothing to do with the concussion. Well, it had a little bit to do with the concussion, but it's because after their victory, he goes out and gets shithoused.
Yes,
now, there's a lot of things you probably shouldn't do when you have even the idea of a brain injury.
Yes.
And fucking up your equilibrium, drinking,
yes,
will do that, let alone so drunk that you have to go throw up in somebody else's drying machine or washing machine.
That was before Lance gets hurt, but he still goes out and gets fucked up after that.
You're right. You're right.
But here's the other thing. Moxon comes in, Johnny Moxon, and that's literally the worst from Jules, and I think that's why I hate her so much is that scene. But everyone's such a dick when he comes in at first to play. The announcers are like, he can't throw a ball more than 5 yards, and there goes the season, and they're like, they're actively making fun of him on this, I don't know, radio broadcast. I guess they're on the radio.
Oh, they just beat the shit out of him,
and everybody just rips on him. And then the first thing he does, he throws this perfect pass, and they're like, oh well, maybe he's not that bad, but they still rip on him until like 4 games later. And now he's the best quarterback that the high school has ever seen. But it's just...
That's because all they know him from is running the dummy-os. Who says that, by the way? Sociopath coach.
So I played football for a brief stint in high school. I was terrible.
Everybody step back.
I was
terrible. Football players walking in.
I was terrible. We'll just say that. And that was putting it lightly. But... So a lot of the football stuff was pretty accurate. The coach grabbing the face mask, a lot of that stuff, that's super accurate. Getting yelled at incessantly. For some reason in football, that's cool. In every other sport, it's not, but whatever. But the dummy-os, I guess, it could be a thing. When I played football, I wasn't on the dummy-os. I was on the meat squad, is what they called it. So... Everybody, I think, has their own little thing, their own little, whatever phrase for the backups that come in and just run the other team's offense, which is funny to me because that's what he's doing. Nobody calls audibles if you're playing for the backups and like, we're going to run the oop-de-oop. No, the coach goes, here's the playbook from the other team. These are the plays that they typically run. You're running these so our defense can get prepared for the game coming up. You don't just go, we're running 5 wides, oop-de-oop.
And can we just say, like, everybody goes, what's he doing? Nobody in football
4,
had
5.
ever seen this play.
How many receivers they got?
Hey, you know what it is? 4 receivers stacked to the left, 1 receiver on the right. You've won 22 district titles, 2 state championships, and you've never seen that set, let alone heard of it? You never heard of it?
Now, to defend the movie, it wasn't common, but there were people running 5 wides, especially, I don't know, at the end of a game when you're down and whatever. I don't want to get too, into the thing.
That's your other show.
I want to get after...
Guess
Up the Facer. Guess Up the Facer. Check it out. We'll get into detail on Varsity Blues.
Yes, please do.
But this goes back into after the game. Moxon is doing an interview. He gets attacked by this reporter, the roving reporter, which was really weird.
That's got you journalism, fella.
Which you and I both worked in radio as well. So the little shoulder strap thing that he had, that's a tape recorder. That's not a live feed to the radio. But apparently in this thing, it's a live feed direct to the radio. So we'll suspend.
You know what they tell you to do day one in journalism school? don't ambush people. That's a good start.
Well, this is where my true hatred for Jules begins, because Jules is hating on Mox because he's popular now after a quarter of football. Everyone likes him, and oh my God, he likes the attention. Like, holy shit, like that's a novel idea.
Nobody on earth has ever liked attention.
It literally says, after he does the interview, geez, heck, like,
you even thank God.
Yeah, you even thank God. You're actually enjoying this, is what she said. Yeah. First of all, do you want him to swear? Well, that was a fucking great game. I mean, I played my ass off.
Right.
This is Texas. You're like Bible Belt. Yeah.
In West Canaan, Texas, he comes up and says, Mox, any ideas about the game? Well, football's just a game, Bob, and there's a major crisis going on in Darfur. I think we need to go fix that shit right goddamn now, fella.
You ever read Kurt Vonnegut? It's good stuff. Good stuff. But that's like, he's getting free beer. He's getting ass thrown at him left and right, like radio interviews. Yeah, I'm pretty sure any 17, 18-year-old kid would kind of enjoy that just a little bit.
Yeah, not to mention, can we just go back a step to where he's getting all the attention and enjoying it?
Yep.
I was very thankful that he did not join his buddy date rape Tweeter in the cop car, because Tweeter says, what is it? I got a sophomore chick in here that wants to lick something, blah, blah, lick your naked body, blah, 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 right? She's a sophomore.
They all seem
half
very...
half the point of this movie, the crisis for Mox, is because he's going to Brown next year. That's rape, brother.
I totally missed that, the whole sophomore thing. Because yes, they are seniors, so they're probably 18. They're underage, so that's statutory right there.
Dude, the second
I totally missed that.
You said sophomore over the radio, I stopped looking because I know somebody's watching me out of one of these fucking contraptions I got.
Well, I was gonna say they all seemed very willing, but no, you're right. They're all underage. So, there you go. So I got a couple of things, because this movie kind of, plugs along in the very stereotypical sports high school type movie with some comedy mixed in. Wendell, I believe it's Wendell, the running back.
Yes.
So I believe it's Wendell Brown. He is, this great workhorse running back that, he's like the coach is racist, never lets me score. He averages 133 yards a game, but every time they get inside the 10, he gives it to a white player.
Yep.
He's complaining.
Kilmer's black workhorse, as he calls it.
Yes. So
not my work. Don't send me shit.
So he starts bitching about that to Mox, and he says, you think he's going to send a letter or whatever to Texas A&M or Texas Tech, and then he says, my mom's doing my recruiting. She's got Grambling coming to see me. What the fuck happened to Texas Tech or A&M? Your mom's terrible at helping you with the recruiting process.
That is one of my favorite lines ever. My mom's doing my recruiting for me. First off, why your mom's is doing your recruiting for you? It's because you're just not good enough to play D1 ball, dude. Like, I'm not saying anything about him or his complaints were accurate.
He might be.
Because his coach calls him boy literally every time they talk.
Yeah.
So it's very established that Kilmer is a racist.
Yeah.
Right? But why, if you are 18 years old, do you need anybody doing your recruiting for you? They should be coming to you, shouldn't they?
Technically, yes, but if you're from this small town, I get it. But he literally goes like,
you have a legendary coach. Everybody should be flocking to see one of Kilmer's productions.
That's true. So there's some inconsistencies there. But he went from Texas Tech and A&M to Grambling. like if you're talking like football, like Grambling isn't at the top of your list for those that aren't into football. But
Typically, no.
and then after that, he says, "Hey, we're meeting at the convenience store 10 o'clock tonight. I got a couple of questions about this whole, because this is like a very iconic scene. You get a fucking tan when they go to the strip club and they get shit housed.
Sarah Palin's first acting job.
Yes. So
what? That wasn't Sarah Palin?
Why does Moxon take the team out the night before the game? Wouldn't you like, okay, we're gonna win this next game because this team's not that good. We'll go out and party and we'll go to the strip club that night on Friday night or whatever.
Right.
Also, they left the club, the strip club, when apparently the dancers are all going home at 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
I'm pretty sure the dancers go home well before that, but whatever.
Didn't he tell him to meet him at the convenience store at like 8, too?
At 10 p.m.
10 p.m., okay.
Yeah. So
it's not like you were there for 12 hours. You were only there for 9.
Yeah. So, but they don't play until that evening. So you're telling me that an 18-year-old kid who gets shithouse drunk can't go home, pound some waters, sleep, and then get to the game and be fine?
Who runs the town? They all run this town.
Exactly.
They don't have to go to school that morning. Because
Yes.
games are on Friday night still, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming, but they
I
don't.
would think.
They apparently
So
don't go to school that day.
Yeah, you don't have to go to school, bro.
So here's the other thing: is I love that 5 players, because Lance doesn't count because he's hurt.
I said this too.
5 players
Yes.
that are hung over. That's all they are. They're not injured. Yeah. They don't have road rash.
Tweeter's not even hung over. He's just horny.
Yeah.
he can't get his teacher's ass out of his mind.
Apparently. So I love that 5 players that are hung over means that this great team loses to a shitty one because 5 guys the line all of a sudden can't block. The whole line. Only Billy Bob was there. The whole line can't block because Billy Bob got fucked up.
Not one defensive player went out that night with them. Nobody on defense can stop this not very good team. Yes. You weren't winning the division title no matter what you did, cuz defense wins championships, bro. That's what they always you don't have one defensive player on that team.
Exactly. And the strip club, this whole movie's filled with the iconic scenes. You got the whipped cream bikini, you got,
teacher at the strip club.
Teacher at the strip club, a fucking tan.
Yes.
I don't want your life.
The lines are incredible.
Just amazing. And some people point to that scene, the I don't want your life, as like the peak of horrible Southern accents and how terrible James Van Der Beek is. I go the complete opposite way. That line made that movie. I absolutely love the way he delivers that line.
Oh my God!
Playing football at West Canaan might have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life. Come on, he delivers that just it's perfect.
You're right. The gravitas in that line is only outweighed by the absurdity.
Oh,
so we're almost in agreement there.
Yeah,
dude.
And then,
this whole town, and again, this is why I compare it to Roadhouse, and this is why this town is dog shit, because Coach Kilmer runs the entire town.
Yep.
The cop, the sheriff, is complaining to another guy at a bar in the morning, because that's where you go at some reason.
That the football players stole the cop car.
They're stealing our cop cars and rubbing their wieners up on the glass at some shit.
You mean they're whiners?
They're whiners. That's no good. No good. Can't be rubbing your wieners up and down everything. All the coach has to do is say, are my boys too much for you? And the sheriff completely shits his pants and backs down. Yes. That is exactly what's happening in Roadhouse. Ben Gazzara's character owns everything. Nothing gets done
I love
without this guy. And then you wonder why every single other adult in this entire community has a substance abuse problem. They are always shit-faced. They're never at work.
Yeah.
They are always shit-faced.
Absolutely.
They are always fucking yelling at their kids. Football's the only way.
Dude, and they go to every practice. Like, listen, my kid plays high school sports. I have never been to a practice. They practice right after school. You know, I got this thing called work.
You don't lean up on the county sheriff's car and drink beer.
Shouldn't you be pulling
shit
people
on each
over?
other's kids?
You should be pulling people over. No, and we're gonna park and we're gonna talk because we went to high school together, fucking 100 years ago. And Kilmer used to get on my ass all the time, just like that.
Right? How was that? Those boys are having the time of their lives. Let me tell you something. When I was in high school, even to this day, when an older person is yelling at me, really, when any person is screaming in my face, don't assume I'm ever having a good time. Please come over and rescue one of us, because I'm probably going to get my ass kicked.
Let's jump to the end, because I mean the whole movie is literally building up to this last game where they can win the championship, and they do it for themselves because
I was going to say, and really the winning part isn't even the important part. It's getting rid of the coach.
Yeah, it's getting rid of the coach.
That's where the movie should have ended.
And winning for themselves, not for the coach and for his umpteenth championship. And that's all well and good.
Before we get too far into this, I do want to bring up one thing. If anyone out there, because I don't know how to go about filing such a thing, if anyone out there on the YouTubes knows how to file a medical inquiry into an entire town's medical resources, please comment below, because literally every medical professional in this town needs to lose their license and go to jail. The unethical shit that is happening.
And not once he was like...
trained all the medical professionals in this town.
Dude, and not once did they go like, listen, if you tear your knee up, like I heard a pop, that means like a ligament blew up in your knee.
Oh yeah, you're done.
It doesn't matter what injection you give. It's not going to stabilize the side of the knee that is no longer held together by a ligament. If you cut, you're still going to go down. And when he went down, he grabbed his hamstring. He didn't grab his knee.
I noticed that too. I was like, I thought he hurt his hamstring.
But whatever. That's fine. The problem that I have, outside of everybody on his staff that is just implicit in this whole, like, who gives a shit about the players, let's, I don't know what they're putting, what injection miracle drug they're putting in their knee.
Well, they didn't know at first either until Alex Cross called and told them to pick up the what is it, PDR?
Yeah, they were injecting the chemo drugs.
That's right.
But no,
for this drug.
The second thing that I couldn't stand was when you play football.
It looks like it's giving you a headache right now.
Dude, it is. When you play football, okay, you and again, if people aren't familiar with the sport, you either send in a signal or the play with a player. You give the player on the sideline a play. He runs it in and gives it to the quarterback. Or you could do signals on the sideline. The signals for the plays in this game, in not only this game but other games too, are absolutely ridiculous.
Let me guess. Guess what I'm doing?
I don't know.
One guess.
Is that I right? Like, I don't. What's this? Huh? I don't know. Is that the hook and ladder?
They're communicating 40 yards away from each other. Oh, okay.
And the defensive coordinator on the other team has no idea what play they're running.
No.
I can't draw up plays. I mean, I'm sure I could, but if I'm identifying as just a casual observer these plays, I'm pretty sure a defensive coordinator gets paid to do that in Texas for a football team. pretty sure he can decipher. I, I right, I left. I don't know. Seriously, that's terrible. But
Easily the worst play calling ever. Where did they all go, by the way?
what do you mean? Oh, the whole staff?
Yeah, when coach leaves
Coach leaves.
the
Apparently,
locker room by himself.
the whole staff does. Like the whole staff, I think they're so scared of the players on the team that they stay in the medical room. The team goes out on the field and they're just like, "Wow, that escalated quickly." And they just stay in there. Nobody comes out, and
they're doing a sit-in until they get Kilmer back.
The announcers only notice that Kilmer's not there, not the rest of his coaching staff.
And they make it very clear he has a full NFL style staff.
Yes.
Every single person who isn't collecting an unemployment check in West Canaan, Texas, is working on his staff.
Exactly.
That's the entire town.
Oh, I love it. And then, the almost the worst part for me. And again, I just want to preface this by saying I love this movie. I love sports movies. I love this movie. When you get sports, it's very emotional and whatever. And I'll tell you why this movie's a great movie still. It might not hold, the content may not hold up over time, but I'll tell you here in a second. The one thing that was the worst, they ran a hook and ladder to win this game. That's not how you run a hook and ladder play.
No.
Typically, a wide receiver goes down the field, one runs underneath him, he catches it, pitches it to that guy because that guy's fast, and then he runs for the touchdown. Not a fat lineman.
The most unathletic person.
Who, by the way, in that whole season of practice, they ran it once. They ran that play once.
They weren't even supposed to run that.
Yeah. No, yeah, because Mox changed the play.
Yep, again.
Because, he's Steve
fucking
Young.
Peyton Manning. Omaha!
So they've run it once. It was a complete and utter disaster. And then he's like, you know what? To win this game, we're going to run the hook and ladder.
That should have failed every time.
Exactly. And
every time.
Again, I'll suspend disbelief. Fine. You make Billy Bob the hero. That's cool. I'm okay with that. It's lazy writing to me, but whatever. But what makes this movie fantastic, and one of my favorite movies still to this day, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I love, and that's
it is a great 90s soundtrack, but let me tell you my one problem with it.
What's that?
It is too literal to what is happening in that particular scene. And I'll give you the perfect example.
You think the morons that watch this movie give a shit about how literal it is?
Hey, that's why they tune into us. Okay? That's why they come here and they like and subscribe down below and write comments. Because we get into that shit. Somewhere down there.
Somewhere.
I don't know. Somewhere around my whipped cream nipples is where you should probably comment. But Mox goes over to Darcy's house, Allie Larder's house, right before the whipped cream bikini. Literally, the song playing in the background is "If Your Girl Only Knew."
Okay.
That is either one, horrible planning on Darcy's part, and if she got that whipped cream to stick, something tells me she's pretty good at that strategic thinking.
At song selection?
At strategery. So you're already putting him in a guilty conscience. But then, the football movie where they're struggling, he might, after they're, super hungover from their all-night stripper bash, he may as well gone up to the coach. And the coach going, "What the hell's wrong with you boys?" And he goes, "Coach, I don't know what to tell you, man. I've been thunderstruck." It was so they should have had a full chorus line behind him. You could take this soundtrack and turn it into a Broadway play. Change nothing. They don't even have to speak. They can sing every song in this. It is that on the nose literal.
I think we should write this as a Broadway play using this soundtrack.
It's already written. That's the beauty of it.
Oh
We
shit.
just need to find somebody dumb enough to put it on for us.
Exactly. Exactly. That's all I got. I mean, all in all, I give the movie 3 stars. I don't know what to do with my hands. I give
Yeah.
the movie 3 stars,
Are you
maybe.
lifting those 3 stars up
By
into
the
a possible
but
fourth?
by the way, people who have ordered this on Amazon, and also, I did not rent this movie. I bought this movie.
Oh, gross.
It
I
was
almost bought this movie because it was like $1 more, and then
it
I'm like,
was
I don't want to.
it was $1 more. Did you go on Amazon to watch
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's the
did
only
I.
place like you can
So it
find
was
it.
like it was $3 to rent it and $4 to buy it. I'm like, yeah, I got $4. So I bought the movie. So now I own a piece of history and I love it. But and people on Amazon are incredibly forgiving about the reviews because I gave it 3 stars. Amazon gave like it was like 300 reviews, 4.5 stars again for this one. Like for Kiss the Girls, it was 4.5. For this, it's 4.5. People don't give a shit. They're like, great movie. I love, now I got to do the Southern accent.
Yeah,
Great,
of course.
great
It's so
movie.
bigoted. It's disgusting.
You can do it, Mox.
You can do it, Johnny. So
So,
this is my takeaway legitimately from this movie and why I would only give it 2 stars.
okay.
Because as far as like a high school MTV vehicle, because
Yes.
that's who produced this was MTV.
Yeah.
So as far as an MTV vehicle is concerned, it's pretty good. Whoever wrote it legitimately fucking hates women. Every single woman in this is either a nagging ballbuster,
Yes.
Jules, a complete gold digger, Darcy,
Yep.
a complete fucking drunk, everybody's mother.
Including the high school players.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody's mom in this movie is a unbelievable drunk, verging on like severe alcoholic.
Yeah.
Or they're a stripper, being the teacher.
Yeah,
there's
that's not
nobody
a
that's
bad
just
thing.
like, I'm normal.
She just wanted a Mustang. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying, there can be one normal woman somewhere in West Canaan.
There can be only one.
There can be only one. I cut the last one's head off.
But yeah, I totally agree with that. But
total woman-hating movie. As far as a football movie goes, it's pretty good. If you can remove all the date rape from, if you just remove all of Tweeter's speaking lines,
it does get a little rapey.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, it does get a little rapey.
Tweeter is involved in, and it's not a bad movie.
Well, and you can make Tweeter's character, because we've all known somebody like Tweeter when we were in high school.
Probably me.
But like,
just take out the date rape shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You can make Tweeter's character just as funny, just as wild and crazy, and just take out all the rapey stuff.
Dude, one of the first lines he has is when they're walking through the party after the first game we see in the movie, and he's singing a song with his wiffle ball bat about how a girl broke his heart, so he broke her jaw. That's your fucking intro, and we're supposed to be shocked that you got fucking genital warts halfway through the movie?
What the fuck is that?
One-liners in this movie are fantastic.
The one-liners are great, and whoever
like crazy.
Whoever wrote this is fantastic at that. If it was just that, it would be great. It's 5 stars for one-liners, 5 stars for iconic scenes. That's why I gave it 3, because I couldn't give it more than that, because it did get a little rapey in parts. Yeah.
Showgirls makes women look better than this movie.
I love it.
This movie makes Showgirls look like Norma Ray.
All right, so that's all I got for the movie. I thought it was good. IMDb 6.6, by the way.
Unbelievable to me.
Yep. So that's all I got. Do you got anything else?
Shit. No, I am very happy that I only rented this, and this will be off my record. It's like a speeding ticket. This will be off my record in a couple of years. Nobody will ever know this happened.
No, this will live forever online. So,
I don't want your movie.
I don't like your movie. Let's move on. All right. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want us to cover a movie, we saw the comment last week. We will get to The Rock at some point soon.
I think we should make that the next one, actually.
Yeah, we could do that. I can go.
Got to reward the commenters, man. You come and you bring it. You subscribe, you comment, you like. We're going to cover your effing movie.
There you go. Well, we'll do
Plus,
The Rock.
I can't watch another shitty football movie. With real football happening right now, don't taint what's coming.
I gotcha. So we'll do The Rock next. So for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you guys next week.